What is up, YouTube? Welcome to the channel. We're going to talk a little bit about Black Wall Street, and then I'm going to tell you what I did with my portfolio to kind of not combat the Black Wall Street, but to build a new Black Wall Street, essentially. The Black community as a whole is extremely underrepresented when it comes to Wall Street, and I want to kind of empower and put my money behind Black businesses. Hopefully I at least have the satisfaction of knowing that I'm putting my money where I want the future to go. And that's a lot of what the mindset is when it comes to investing or investing long term, is putting your money into what you think the future looks like. I mean, I think the future looks like there's a lot more Black people represented on Wall Street. So for now, I want to back the ones that are already there. Quickly, before we get into what I did in the actual stock market today, I wanted to cover this story. So the thing I wanted to talk about was the Tulsa Race Massacre. If you've never heard about it, it was basically the massacre that happened on Black Wall Street. And if you've never heard of Black Wall Street, that's probably because for whatever reason, this kind of stuff isn't taught in history class, and it's kind of mind-blowing. I didn't really even know about this till probably about a week and a half ago, and this has kind of opened my eyes to a lot of other racial things that I didn't learn about in high school that I wish I would have. But the story starts, there is a 19-year-old named Dick Rowland. He's a Black shoe shiner that works in Tulsa, and he was going into an elevator when a girl was coming out of an elevator. Her name was Sarah Page. She was 17 years old. Apparently what had happened was they grazed shoulders while he was entering and she was exiting, and somehow it went from that to he sexually assaulted her. At least that's what everybody was told, is he sexually assaulted her, and they arrested him and put him in jail. Sarah Page later said that he did not sexually assault her, but the damage was already done because the town had heard that there was a white girl that was sexually assaulted by a Black guy. Basically what that did was that incited a KKK rally. Basically the KKK then went down to this Greenwood area or the Black Wall Street area, and they burned everything, and they lynched a large majority of the Black community. I believe there ended up being like 80 people that died, and over 800 people that got injured, 6,000 people that were left homeless, and over $1.5 million in real estate damage, essentially. Again, this isn't to say this isn't like a racist thing. I'm not trying to isolate white people in this video. I'm just changing the way that I invest to kind of support the Black community a little bit more than I had been in the past. So with everything being said, let's get into the video after this intro. All right, guys, so before I forget, let's just get the code on, because I'm gonna talk about finances here real quick. All right, yeah, a lot better. Here we go. Let's talk about what I did today in the market. So this took a lot of time, and I was surprised by the results, because I didn't you think there's a difference, right? You know there's a difference in representation of Black people. So before I started, I made a very simple rule, and it was a very, very basic rule. They had to have somebody of color on their board. After doing a couple companies, I quickly realized that they didn't have any Black people in their board, but they had some Black people that at least showed up on the page of people that they saw as leadership for their company. I would accept that, because my list was dwindling fast. I already got rid of a whole bunch of companies. So we're gonna go through all the companies that got removed from my list, or I'm no longer invested in, because they don't have any Black representation in their boardroom or leadership in any way. So the first company, Facebook, no leadership. Next company, Exxon Enterprises, which I guess I shouldn't have been that surprised, being as they make their money from police. The next one, Berkshire Hathaway. A lot of people invest in Berkshire Hathaway. I was pretty bullish on it. I felt like I was making a good choice, but now that I've added this metric to my investing style, off the list you go. Next one is Airbus. Airbus was the one I had the most trouble with, because I couldn't find images of the people. The next one was Intellia Therapeutics. The next one was basically all the weed stocks I invested in. Organigram, Planet 13, and Canopy Growth. I want to invest in a weed company, so if you know of one that is out there that has some kind of black representation on it, make sure you put it in the comments so I know to look into it. The next one is Shopify, another position I just started that I had to end because they have no black representation. I almost wanted to give them a pass because it's Canadian. And the next two are my 3D printing plays. Got rid of Strateris and X1. The other one is FUV or Archimoto. I really like the company, but I have to stay true to what I want the future to look like. So now, companies that have added to my watch list. In the whole S&P 500, there are only 4 companies with black CEOs. So I had to add them to my watch list. I haven't added positions to them. I didn't add to any of my positions today. I just basically destroyed everything else. So the 4 companies are Merck. Merck has a black CEO. Second company is Lowe's. The third company is Tapestry. And then the fourth one, which I don't know too much about, is TIAA, which I'm going to do a full video on each one of those stocks. If you are interested to do your own research, those are some companies to look into. Now, companies that I was able to hold on to. Boeing, they had 1 black board member, Ronald Williams. The next one was Salesforce. Salesforce had 2 black board members, Colin Powell and Robin Washington. Disney, I was able to hold on to Disney. They have Francis de Souza and Darica Wright. The fourth one was FedEx. They have Shirley Ann Jackson and Marvin R. Ellis. Marvin is also the CEO of Lowe's. The next one is Goldman Sachs. They have 1 board member. Overstock, they had 1 board member. Williams Nestle. Tesla had 1 board member, a black female to be exact, Catherine Wilson. 2U had 2 black board members. The first one was Earl Lewis, and the second one was Katharina Rushing. And like I said, I really want to just invest in help the black community as much as I can. So I want to educate the black community when it comes to finances and how to invest. And I want to, make sure that we're investing in companies that at least understand that black representation is important and they have some aspect of somebody that is from the black community is making money from these companies growing. So I have a lot more work to do. This video is one of many videos that is coming. When I look across the landscape that is YouTube's financial sector, I see very little black people talking about finances, and I think that that's a problem in and of itself. There's not enough people that are financially educated that are black. So I'm trying to bridge that gap, and that's nothing against all the white content creators out there. I love what you guys do. I learn a lot from you guys. But I feel like sometimes it's easier to watch somebody who looks a little bit more like you. I got a lot of video ideas to help the black community, and I'd appreciate if you guys subscribe to kind of come along for the journey, and we can kind of get this out to as many people as possible. Again, thanks for everything that you guys do. Love you guys. Peace.